2, 1. Let's go. Hey everybody, you are tuned into Uptown with Mona, your go-to show for everything poetry, hip-hop, and entertainment. I'm your host, Mona Baudet, and we've got a dope show for you today. So sit back, relax, and let's get this party started right. Hey everybody, what is going on, y'all? Let me tell you something. Tamika ain't been here in a while. She's been having issues with her computer. And y'all already know I'm always fucking shit up. So just roll with me today. Y'all already know something always happens either in the beginning of the show or the end of the show or somewhere in between the show. Y'all already know. But you know how we do. We still going. We're still gonna have fun, right? So let me do my intro, and then I'm gonna bring in this my dope guest. He's so fucking dope. But hold on, let me do what I do, okay? So let me welcome y'all to Uptown with Mona. We meet every Monday at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and again on Thursday at 6 p.m. on Without Warning Radio. First of all, let me wish all of y'all a happy belated Christmas, a happy new year coming, because I won't see y'all until next year. That's the running joke, right? We'll see you until next year. So so look, go to Uptown with Mona, last name Baudet, on Facebook and join, because that page is really it's kind of lonely. Also uptown.with.mona on Instagram, another page. I don't know what's going on with y'all. Y'all need to go over there and join them pages, because both of them pages are feeling very lonely. If you want to donate to Uptown with Mona, my Cash App is #Uptown with Mona. And if you have an interesting story or you want to be interviewed, hit me up at uptownwithmona at gmail.com, especially if you know somebody or, something like that, or, whatever. Also, January 27th, because my birthday is January 25th, right? My brother, my AKA, my brother from another mother, his birthday is January 26th. We are both celebrating our birthdays January 27th at Comedy in Harlem on 147th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue at 8 p.m. And that's at the Naughty List. This is the second go round from the first show, the Naughty List. All erotic poetry, erotic comedy. We have erotic adult games. Oh my God, y'all missed if y'all didn't come to the last show, y'all missed it. We had so much fun. One girl and one guy, they both won. So now we're gonna have another set of people do the games, and then next show we're gonna do. They're gonna compete against each other for the championship. Because that's what we do. We have a lot of fun. And y'all really need to come down. It's going to be a real great night. Again, that's on 147th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue at Comedy in Harlem on 147th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue at 8 p.m. So make sure you be there, okay? Because it's my birthday. So with that, let me tell you something. This guy, I've known him for some years. We've always crossed paths at different shows, and he's just really dope. I think everybody I interview, they just I just love them all because they're like their family. It's my family. So let me bring in, hold on, let me get this right before I mess it up again. Let me bring in D Cross, the master at beatboxing, the poet. I don't know what else he do, but we gonna find out tonight. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Peace. How
How are
you?
you doing,
Hey,
honey?
I'm good. I'm excellent. I'm excellent. I'm living. I'm breathing. I'm here right now, so I'm excellent.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
complaints.
So let me ask you a question before we get started. How was your day?
Oh, hey, it was. It was. Did what I needed to do for the day, and yeah, and that was it. That was it. I mean,
And
it's
that was it.
excellent because I'm here. Yeah,
How
a lot
about
of
that?
ripping and running. A lot of ripping and running. But if you ain't ripping and running, and you still did. It's like, hey, emotion,
Yep,
motion.
yep, yep. So now let me ask you a question. So now here's how it's gonna go. I'll ask you 16 questions. I call them 16 bars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just we just gonna have fun and we just gonna talk. I don't get personal. I let the person I'm interviewing say whatever they want to say. I get my questions are very generic. So
All good.
you know what I'm saying? Keep it real simple. So you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you always you know what? I can't wait. Yo, let me first of all, guys, everybody who's out here, he is the best beatboxer I know. You know, and we know a few. We know one or two. We already know those other two, but I think this guy is very dope. So,
Oh, I'm alright.
yes,
You know, I'm
yes, yes,
alright. I do a little something. I'm alright.
yes, yes. So let me ask you the first question: your artistic journey. Can you tell us about your artistic journey? What inspired you to become a visual artist and a vocal beatbox expressionist?
Yes, yes, yes. All right. So, visual artist, that's that was pretty much the lifetime mission. I knew that I wanted to be an artist ever
Hmm.
since I was well 2. That's my
Okay.
earliest recollection. Because I
Hmm.
would draw pictures, comic books, and then a little bit later on, when I was about maybe 5, I started making sculptures and doing paintings. So I knew offhand that, look, I want to be an artist.
Right.
And when people were like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, when I grow up, I said I'm an
Right.
artist. I said that
Right.
very early. Um, as a vocal beat expressionist, or so classify vocal beat expressions. That just means that I take elements of human beatboxing,
Hmm.
song, raps, rhymes, spoken word, and
Okay.
mix it all together. So that's that's just what I
How
call
did
it.
you learn how to do that?
So when I was very young, I mean, I always liked music and hearing music, and I would make sounds when I would do like these little comics, and I would just like make sounds and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But what really brought it to light for me was I first actually heard Buffy from the Fat Boys,
Okay.
and this was around I would say like 83, and I was
Okay.
like, yo, he's making these noises with his mouth. He's
Hmm.
actually making these beats with his mouth. And I actually saw them performing on this show called New York Hot Tracks.
Okay.
And I was like blown away. Now, also at that time, around that time, being that my uncle was into hip hop, and he used to get these tapes, and I used to see all of the flyers and stuff like that. I had actually heard about this young man named Dougie Fresh, and heard that, oh, like, yo, he does music with
Yes.
his mouth. But I didn't actually hear Doug until a little bit later, and until like maybe like later 83,
Mm.
84. But seeing Buffy, and then later hearing Doug, and then Biz Markie. Biz Markie was very instrumental when I heard on Biz Markie on Mr. Magic, because he did something a little bit different, where he actually not only did the beat and had these the sounds, the ill sounds going, he was actually talking at the same time. So when I heard him going, I want to, I want to, I just like lost my mind, and I was very inspired by that.
Wow. Is it hard? Is that hard to do?
I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard now. I mean, it's practice. I mean, there's ways that you can learn things, and also one of the things that influenced me to do that, as well as I wanted to be a DJ,
Okay.
but one, I wasn't allowed on my pop's system. He didn't have like a full blown DJ system, but
Right.
you know, wasn't allowed on the turntables or anything like that.
Hmm.
And I saw what technically it went to go in to be a DJ and all of that, and I was
Right.
like, wow, that's a lot.
Hmm.
But one of the things that inspired, just like something that ended up being part of a signature sound of what I do in terms of with beatboxing, with
Right.
the vocal cuts and sounds like that was I saw Run DMC routine with Jam Master Jay. This was on Video Music Box when he was showing the Fresh Fest.
So you're
And
talking about wait. So you've been doing this since the '80s, the early '80s,
yeah, I
right?
was a kid. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Because
was
we're
a,
around the same age. We're around the same. I don't know how old you are. I'm
yeah.
eight. I'm 58. I'll be 59
I'm
next month.
50. I'm 51.
Okay, you
I'm
right behind
51.
me. Right. You right. So
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah. So as a kid, it was like seeing I mean, Run DMC was my hands down like favorite group. you
Mm-hmm.
know, and seeing Jay's whole routine, I was like, yo, I can DJ. And I was like, nah, I can't really DJ. But I started listening to the sounds that he made during the routine where he would go, yeah, yeah, run, yeah, run, run, yeah, run, run, yeah, run. And practicing that. Initially, it was, it was kind of hard on the throat. Like, yeah, yeah, run, yeah, run, yeah, run, yeah, run, yeah, run, yeah, yeah, run, yeah, run, run, yeah,
Wow.
run. And he would cut that up. And, also at that time, still now I was an aspiring MC and poet.
Okay.
So what I used to do was I used to keep two different sets of, I would say, books, but it was more like stacks of papers because it would get out of hand and it wouldn't stay inside the notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have one where I say, okay, this is the poetry. This
Okay.
right here is the rhymes.
Right.
And
Right.
so what I said,
That's
hey, how can I can actually join the two of those things? I mean, because
exactly.
during that time, human beatbox, it's like this. Beatboxing during the 80s at that time, it was, it was something that it
Mm-hmm.
was a staple that
Mm-hmm.
everybody did that. And so everybody was trying to figure out, who could make the illest sounds, who could have the
Right.
illest routines and stuff like that. And I was just like really just like practicing and getting my feet wet. Just a little note back then when I first really just like started doing that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't the initial goal. Actually, I had a good friend of mine during that time. We were in junior high school together. He
Mm.
was he was nicer at it than me. So we would just go back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
My dude Patrick, and we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and just do like the illest sounds and stuff like that because my roots is I saw that as just an MC. That was the
Right.
aspirations initially.
Right. You remind me of, or I should say, Benu does the same thing.
Yeah, that's my brother. That's my Gemini brother.
Benu used to do
The
that, and I was like,
Gemini.
I used to always tell him, "Yo, you sound like D Cross." He said, "Yeah, that's my dude. That's my dude." I'm like, "My God, y'all are like
That's my
fucking
brother.
twins.
We're the Gemini. We're Gemini twins. I mean,
Y'all are like
we're
twins."
we're Gemini. We're both of us Geminis. And yeah.
Wow. And what neighborhood are you from? Brooklyn, Queen.
Originally I'm from Queens.
Okay.
You know,
The end of the world.
born. No, ain't not the end of the world. I mean that's the beginning. That's the beginnings for me. Queens, South Side. South Side, Queens, South
Okay.
Side, Jamaica, Queens,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I lived in Left Rack City. Shout to Left Rack City for a hot second. More than
Okay.
a hot second. Left Rack was actually special because that's where a lot of creative juices actually bubbled up and developed during like
Got it.
during my middle school years. And then a little bit later in my very late teen years when I was in college, I moved to Brooklyn, and I've been in Brooklyn
All
just
your
like ever
life.
since. Oh,
Yeah.
not all my life, but a chunk of it.
Right, right,
you
right.
know
Wow. When I was growing up, I saw Rocksteady Crew learning how to dance. I was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all niggas look stupid. Um
Wow.
Wiggles and his sister used to practice in the hallway, and they were like, come on, Mona, let's practice. I'm like, no, that shit looks stupid. Meanwhile, I could have, I was a B girl, but I was just a stand around B girl. I wasn't a real dancer. I wasn't a pop locker. I used to tag a little bit here and there. I'm from the Boogie Down. I'm from the Bronx. So that's what we do, right? But I wish I would have stuck with one of those things, man.
Destiny is destiny, and
Everything
besides,
happens. Yep,
you got to
everything happens the way it's supposed
you
to.
got to actually witness just like a lot of just beginnings of the history.
Right.
You know, I mean, because the thing is, one thing that I'll say on on the Bronx side, I didn't see that until later, firsthand. Everything
Oh.
was always just like
Listen, everything you
secondhand
used to
information.
everything you saw on, like, on video or on the streets, looking like the war zone and all that back in the 70s. That's where I grew up. I was born in the 60s with the gangs, the Savage Skulls, the Savage Nomads, the Black Spades, the Chingalings, and all them. Then you had the Zulus hanging out, and it was just a lot. So, and then everything changes. Like every decade, things seem to change if you pay attention.
You
You
know,
know,
I didn't have the opportunity to be able to really get a glimpse of outside of the Bronx Zoo. I mean,
right?
I would go up to the Bronx Zoo, but
Yeah.
didn't really get a chance to witness the Bronx until mid to late 80s when I was was a teenager, and would
Mm-hmm.
sometimes visit because I was really curious about just like some of the beginnings.
Right.
you know
Right.
at least on that side. I mean, I could speak of just seeing some of the beginnings, what I saw on the Queens side.
Yeah.
In South Jamaica, Queens. I grew up across the street was a park called Ajax Park, and
Okay.
in Ajax Park they used to always have jams,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be able to witness the jams firsthand because I lived directly across the street from from the park.
We went
So
through
I
that
would
too.
see the
Mm-hmm.
Disco Twins come through, the
Mm-hmm.
Infinity Machine,
Mm.
and I would hear all of the tapes that they would make because my uncle was heavily into that. He's a little
Okay.
bit older than me, so
Mm-hmm.
it was like I'm following behind him, like, all right, what is this? He had the little boom box and stuff like that, and would bring in the tapes. That was my first exposure to what was happening
Mm-hmm.
uptown.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing a cold
Yep.
crush tape was like, yo, what is this? Or
Yep.
hearing tapes of like Flash and Melly Mel when they would come to spots in
Mm-hmm.
Queens
Yep.
and stuff like that. I would hear stuff on tape. I was much too young to be in any clubs or anything like that, but I would hear all of this on tape, so that was like a heavy influence as well.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Let me go to the next question, okay? Okay, mediums and techniques. What mediums do you primarily work with in your visual art, and how do they influence your creative process?
So different mediums that I work in are painting,
Mhm.
drawing,
Mhm.
and I also do a lot of three-dimensional work using clay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of three-dimensional work using clay. Sometimes what I do is I use found objects as
Mm.
well. I do a lot of miniatures, like for example, I don't know if you can see it.
I could see that. Wow, look
Yeah.
at that. What is it? Hold on.
So
What
this is
is
a
that?
So I'm gonna put it close there. It's a lady with her hands
Uh-huh.
outstretched. So
Uh-huh.
it's rather small. It's rather
Okay.
small if you look at it. Um, so I do a lot of stuff that's sort of diorama like. So
Wow.
this is clay, wood, uh, fabric made to look like
Wow.
hair. So it's like a variety of different things that I use.
Are those things for sale?
Yeah. Definitely sell the artwork.
Cause I
I
built
even
I built stuff. I build things. Like I'm
so
all in a minute. I'll be building something new. That's what is
This
that?
this used to be a Walkman. See, this used to be a
Oh
Walkman.
shit.
But what I did was I have like a figure breaking through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's breaking through the Walkman. So
Wow.
I do a lot of different things of that nature. In
Mm.
in addition to painting, drawing, you really can't see. Well, let me
Let me
one of
let
my
me pull my
paintings.
screen up a little so I could see that. Wow, look how beautiful that is.
Yeah, it's one of the paintings.
Mm. Let me see that thing you had in your hand a minute ago. The walker,
Which,
Walkman.
which one? Yeah, yeah. So I got this one. Let me get
I
this one
opened up
too.
my screen because I wanted to see it.
Check it out.
Look.
This is another
Oh
one. Yeah, it's
shit.
reaching out at you. Walkman,
Yo,
earphones,
that is so
headphones
dope.
on in, headphones on in, headphones on
That
in.
is so dope. Oh my god. I'm gonna need
So
some links. If you have links for those, so I could put and some good pictures, I'll put
yeah,
them up
yeah,
on my page. I'll put them up on my
yeah, I
page so you
definitely
could.
can. And an interesting story about the clay pieces.
Hmm.
They started when I was very, very young. I would say about like seven, eight. But when I was like around 9, it really evolved. I used to make these same figures that I make out of clay. I used to make these out of glue. So I
Wow.
used to make them out of glue and hustle them to my classmates.
Uh-huh.
So it was like I had a little entrepreneurial thing going on where I would make little teeny tiny glue figures, and the glue figures would be like about this big, but they would be like fully posable, and they would be replicas of whoever was the hottest rappers at the time.
Mm.
Like it was like the Fat Boys were really popular. I found myself making a lot of little Fat Boys, Run DMCs,
Mm-hmm.
Salt and Peppers, and then even stuff like E.T. and
Wow.
Beverly Hills Cops. And what I was doing is I would sculpt it, experiment with Elmer's glue. Elmer's
Okay.
glue. So make it and use it where it was like clay, and then treat
Wow.
it, and then it was like a whole thing. And then I found that this particular type of clay that I use, polymer clay, is a lot easier than Elmer's glue in terms of just like the process.
I'm reading this thing. I have someone named Josh Small. She's just making comments over here. He says, first he says peace, love, and light to both of us.
Peace.
And then we was talking about the Barack City crew and the Tomahawk. We talking about the gangs and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shit was rough back in the 70s when we was growing up, but when I was growing up back in the 70s hanging out in the street, we didn't feel afraid. We didn't feel it wasn't like, we knew we you know how people know they're poor. We didn't know we was poor. We was just living, you
But
know?
that's the spirit. The thing is that's
Mhm.
the spirit that really birthed
Right.
what we now call hip hop culture.
Right,
You know
right, right.
that element, taking something or
Yes.
taking nothing, make it into
And
something,
making it into something.
something from nothing, and being
Yep.
able to have that vision without even knowing that you're
Yep.
visualizing that
Yep.
creativity. So when you have less to work with, sometimes you have
Uh-huh.
your imagination that works with you, and just the elements around you can
Right.
shape your creativity.
That's like with the jams back in the 70s. We'd be sitting around smoking weed, drinking our beers, smoking our cigarettes or whatever. And we see the DJ come in the park with his crates. And it's like, oh shit, they getting ready to have a party. Make something out of nothing. And we'd be partying all night in the park in the summertime. So dope.
And it was such an inspiration to be able
Hmm.
to learn from people who are actually
What
there
is
in
that I'm
those
hearing
different
in the
elements.
background? What
That's
am
that's my daughter wilding out.
I?
Nala, chill out.
She all right?
She all right.
She's 14. That's what she is, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the question number 3. Vocal beat expressionism. Can
Aha.
you explain what vocal beat expressionism entails and how it differs from traditional forms of music and art?
Okay. Yep, 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 yep. To explain, vocal beat expressionism. Yep, 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 yep. Combining, singing, spoken word, rhymes or sounds, putting it together, in all a little package. I mean, that's pretty much just the label that I give,
Mm.
just the style of what I do. People, when people say, we're like, oh, beatboxer or
That's what I call
vocal
it.
percussion. No, no, no. I mean, it is, but I mean, there's certain there's just like little different things. I mean, the thing is, people always like to have their own lane. Because when I first started doing it like that, you would have hardcore, people who are hardcore people. I'm like, no, you can't rhyme when you do that. We need a straight beat. Or they'll be like, oh, well, why are you singing with that? And this and that. I'm like, nah. So it's like, instead of being just like labeled, I'm like, let me come up with my own label
Right.
for it.
That's right.
I'm not gonna necessarily say if somebody says, oh, he's a beatboxer. I'm like, nah, I accept that. I accept human beatboxer, definite. I mean, because it's like that's an homage to the original human person who called himself a human beatbox,
Okay.
which would be Dougie Fresh.
Right.
And also I want to give a shout out to Buffy. I mean, because there's a little bit of a thing where Buff, rest his soul, there's origins there, but they had never met each other in the beginnings. But even before that, I mean, they say there's nothing new that's under the sun. I mean, because even before that, there was scatting and different elements. When you think about artists or vocalists such as, say, Bobby McFerrin,
Right.
Al Jarreau,
Right.
those are some artists that were very influential early on because they had more of a jazz leaning, and I heard what they did with their voices, and it was amazing. Even say Ella Fitzgerald with us scatting, all of those different things. When you have different singers, there are a lot of singers, like even a Stevie Wonder, he's very percussive when he did a lot of his songs. But
Yes.
all of that. Michael Jackson,
Yes.
where oh, would we be like all in the middle of that? He would start his production of different songs when he would be like, oh, okay, I want the song to sound like that, and he would do that. So there's nothing new that's under the sun. I'll just say that. I mean, that's what I choose to just call it.
Beatboxing.
Yeah.
We call it
Vocal
beatboxing.
beat. Yeah, vocal beat expressionism.
Beat expressionism. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, next question. Cultural influence. How has hip hop culture influenced your work as an artist and educator? Because I know you're an educator also.
Yes, definite. In every which way possible. Being a product of hip hop and growing up in hip hop, it was always around me and always a part of me. So when I decided to become an educator, I said that there had to be a way to be able to incorporate, what I do as a hip hop artist, and also what I do as a visual artist, and expose young people to that. Because during the time when I became an educator, there was no such thing as a hip hop educator. They just didn't have that. I've been an educator for, I'll say 30 years, 30 years officially.
And what do you teach? What do you teach?
Visual arts, but I also teach poetry, spoken word,
writing. You're writing class.
yeah, writing. Or a lot of also performing. Hip hop culture classes, where the young people are able to look at just the roots of hip hop, where it comes from, the situations that cause it to become a thing, or looking at all of the elements and all of the things that make hip hop. I mean, because the thing is, at one point, so many people did not want to be associated with anything hip hop. Even in our own communities,
right?
A lot of the elders was shutting down what,
Mm-hmm.
what hip hop was about. Oh, we don't want to hear that noise, or
Right.
this and that, or looking at the way that young people dressed and all that. But it at a point where corporations and stuff said, "Hey," and they cash in on it. I mean, it's even that way in terms of the education aspect of it. You you have people who are not necessarily engulfed in hip hop, but
Mm-hmm.
who are teaching it and basically getting secondhand, third hand, fourth hand information and putting it out there. So hip
Okay.
hop, really, the culture of it just like really inspired so much of just like what I do.
Okay. And you love it. I know you love it. I could tell. You've been doing it for 30 years. Shoot.
Yeah, definitely love it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely love it.
Okay. Question 5. Art education. As an art educator, what core values do you emphasize to your students when teaching art? What grade do you teach and what age do you teach anyway?
So
Mm-hmm.
I actually work with young people. We work with young people from K through 12, and I also work with uh, elders and seniors.
No kidding.
Yeah. So right now, I'm a teaching artist as opposed to just being in the classroom. One of the
Mhm.
reasons why I chose that route is I'm not limited by just one location. So
Okay.
currently I'm not only teaching in New York City, but I'm
Hmm.
also teaching in New Jersey, Inglewood,
Okay.
New Jersey. So it's like I have different residencies where I'm able to be able to spread the love all around.
Okay.
But what I emphasize in terms of the education is exploration, uh, creativity. Learn what came before, but don't be afraid to try new things.
Right.
That's what I always stress. Look at the people who are dubbed as masters. Look at them, study them, but you
Hmm.
don't necessarily have to copy them.
Right.
Look at what's going on around you, because there's art pretty much in everything. Art
Right.
shapes our perception.
Yes.
Um, you can perceive different things based on the art that you're exposed to.
Hmm.
So I'm just a conduit. I look at that. I'm a
Okay.
conduit to be able to open different doors and
Hmm.
to be able to, you know, be a tour guide to imagination, creativity, and learning. I mean, because the thing is, you never stop learning.
Right.
You never stop growing.
Hmm.
So
Wow,
those
that's
are,
so dope.
those are the things that I really, really push.
That's dope. That is so dope. And you have the patience because you said you teach from K to 12. How do you teach the little ones, the
The little
5 year
ones,
olds or the 4 year olds or the 3 year olds? How do you teach them?
the babies, you meet them where they at. I mean, it's
Hmm.
everybody. I look at it
Okay.
like this. Because I also believe in flexibility and versatility. You meet
Yes.
everybody where they're at.
Okay.
Um, you give, and
Hmm.
then you're also learning. Because here's the thing: when you have the little people, you're
Yes.
learning from them as well. A lot of people are like, "Oh, well, I know much more," but if you look at it like this, the little people, I have this view that the little people and elders
Hmm.
are closest to the source of creation.
Hmm. I
So
agree.
so the thing is that, although they might not always know how to express that knowledge that they have,
Right.
they carry that with them, and it's just, how can they get it out?
And
How do
these
you get
little
it out?
people, these people,
Patience.
these kids today are so, they're different.
Oh
These
yeah,
little ones today, they are
they
different. My grandson is 10, and he be asking me certain things, and I'm like, what? He's like, no, grandma. I'll be like, no, you do it like he's like, no, grandma, you don't do it
they
like
know
that. Let
more.
me show you how to do this or
They
whatever,
know more.
They know a
They know
whole
more.
lot more. I'm like, how do you know this? He says, Grandma, it's easy. Can't you tell? I'm like, damn, make me sound stupid.
Nah, they know more, but I
Hmm.
believe I believe that a lot of our young people that are coming up
Yeah,
have more access to the source and don't realize that they have it, so that way they have more information in it and they absorbing everything that's around them.
absolutely. Hmm.
They're absorbing all of that technology.
And they have a lot.
It's
They have a lot more of, again, like the technology and stuff. We didn't have we didn't have
nah,
laptops and cell phones and
not at all.
PlayStation. We didn't have none of that shit. We had a fucking Atari, and that's if we could afford an Atari. There was one person in the whole crew would have an Atari, and all we played was Pong, ping,
uh,
pong, pong, pong.
nah, later on, you get
But
that,
later on, you're
with with Pac-Man and
right. Yep, yep.
you know, and Pac-Man was doing something, and then I'm
That
like,
was
oh,
me
okay.
in probably in middle school or high school. Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man,
Oh, I love Miss Pac-Man.
probably middle school and high school. Yeah,
To this day, I'm not a big video game head, but Miss Pac-Man is still one of my favorite games,
my favorite game was
hands down.
And Miss Pac-Man and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it in Space Invaders. Space
Ah,
Invaders. Remember Space
oh
Invaders?
yeah,
Oh, that was a dope game. We had contests with that game. That was
definitely
dope.
dog,
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
dog Space Invaders.
Yep, yep. All right. Number 6, community engagement. How do you engage with the community through your art? And what role do you believe artists play in the community development?
Okay, so in terms of community engagement,
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's important to be able to expose the art and be entrenched with different communities. One of the blessings with my art, I've been able to work with different communities in different
Okay.
parts of NYC, uh, New Jersey,
Okay.
and being able to take just that creative, whatever creativity that was inside myself,
Uh-huh.
and be able to see what creativity are in just different people who are in said communities, and saying, hey, look, you have creativity within yourself. You
Okay.
have the ability to be able to take what's around you and make it a more beautiful place.
Got it.
um, Experiencing what it feels like to have young people involved in creating a mural,
Mm-hmm.
and then the reaction when a mural is done, and
Right.
how people look at it and be like, oh, this is beautiful, oh, this is that. I remember an example of a time that was really enlightening. I
Mm-hmm.
worked on a mural with a group of young people who had never did a mural before, in Edenwald houses one
Okay.
time. This was about maybe, I guess it was about maybe like 12, 13 years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
so many of the young people had never had the opportunity to work on a mural. They had an idea about what it was like to write on the wall or whatever,
Right.
and that was a taboo thing.
Right.
And I was able to turn that taboo around to some of the elder people that were in the neighborhood, when they saw what was created with the young people who were in the community center, and they were like, wow, hey, this is a cool thing. There's like,
Right.
you did that with the kids that's in there, that do this and that. It's like, yeah. And the kids were able to stand up and say, like, yeah, we did that. Some of them were like, yeah, grandma, we did that. Or, yeah, ma, yeah, pops, we did that.
Right.
So it showed how art can be able to bring community together. You
Right.
know, same thing. Another example of a community piece that I did over in Ingersoll Houses, Fort Greene, Brooklyn. I did a
Mm-hmm.
whole project where we worked in steps to design a mural together where not only the young people, but also some of the elders were able to throw ideas out, and we sat down and did
Mm-hmm.
smaller miniature projects. And I took elements of their projects and turned it into a huge mural that was on display for about 7 months,
Wow.
because it was on display on the scaffoldings that was on outside one of the sets of buildings,
Right.
because they were like, oh man, we got these scaffoldings, they're supposed to be fixing the building, and the scaffolding is ugly and rah. So
Good idea.
I was able to partner with an organization
Mm-hmm.
um called Art Bridges, and they were able to give me the support to be able to make this large mural, so that the residents, over in Fort Wayne, could be able to see, like, wow, look
Mm-hmm.
at this artwork. And some of it reflected what they did,
Right.
and that they were part of it.
Right.
I was one of the artists that was part of that process, so it wasn't just like me alone for that one.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Wow. You know, what's missing in the school system today is art.
It's there. Here's
Music.
the thing. It's
Music.
there,
I'm
but
talking
it's
about
not.
like, but I'm talking about like when I grew up, we had music class, we had typing class, we had economics where you learn how to cook, you learn how to take care of yourself. We had the Glee Club, we had after school programs, we had a lot of stuff. They don't have that anymore.
They have a little bit of it, but it's just kind of in
Yeah,
a
but
different form.
and
And
they today they charge you for all that, where the stuff when we was in school it was
yeah,
free, you know?
yeah, they do charge a lot of
Yep.
times, and they do have some programs that are
Yeah, but
free, but
are
it's
they really
also
free? Are they free?
that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion because things ain't like what it used to be. It's unfortunate. But anyway, I digress. Number 7, collaborations.
Wow.
Have you collaborated with other artists or musicians? If so, can you share a memorable experience from those collaborations?
Wow, I'm trying to think of. There's so many different
I know you got a whole lot.
there's so many different memories of collaborations, because with collaborations, I've done a lot, just a lot of collaborations with
Okay.
wonderful artists, specifically live, a lot of live collaborations, because people were like, all right, well, they were like, all right, well, I want music, but
Hmm.
I don't necessarily have a musician, so I become the live musician,
Right.
impromptu, and be able to add the beat to what they're doing and integrate.
Hmm.
Um, Also, one of the collaborations that I'm particularly proud of is an artist. He's a percussionist. His name is
Okay.
Bashiri Johnson. He was actually Michael Jackson's last percussionist before Mike passed. But Bashiri Johnson and I have been collaborating for darn near say about 25 years,
Okay.
in terms of not only vocal, just like vocally being able to add rhymes over his percussion, but also doing vocal beat expression, beatboxing, and mixing all of that together with
Hmm.
its percussion and songwriting. There's I mean, I don't even want to just like leave out any artist that I've collaborated with, because there's quite a lot, and I
Right.
don't want to be people like, oh, you forgot me, you forgot me, and I don't want to do that. I mean, there's so many wonderful collaborations that I've had the opportunity
Okay.
to be a part of,
Hmm.
and a lot of the collaborations have actually led to just like larger just like larger stages, like having the experience of having collaborations at venues like Madison Square Garden, Lincoln Center. Oh wow. Overseas, several places, different places overseas. So collaborations are really special because for me, because you're able to take the energy of your collaborators and combine it with your energy and be able to make something special,
Right.
something organic and something special.
Right.
And that's a beautiful thing, because that's also the spirit of our community.
Yes. Yeah. That's dope. So I want to tell everybody that I will hear Uptown with Mona, and I'm here with D Cross, the Matt in my eyes, the master beatboxer. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat, because I'm checking the chat periodically. If you have any questions, we're here live. And feel free to ask a question. I know he'll love to hear
Feel
some of them.
free.
Sure would, right? Let me see if we have, before I go to the next to question number 8. Hold on, let me see. Any questions? Okay, no question, but everybody's saying Merry Christmas. Santos Taino says Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Right, my booth thing. Tony Dennis, that's my booth thing. Empress, she says greetings.
Greetings, Empress.
I know, right? Empress, that's my girl. I interviewed her a few weeks ago. I interviewed her. She's dope. She's so dope. Here we go. I'm not a rapper, so I can't help you out with that.
No, that's just background music.
Background music, right? Oh my God. All right. Question number 8. Creative process. What does your creative process look like? Do you have any rituals or routines that help you get into the zone?
Let me see. Rituals. I like to do things with background music when I'm creating. Or sometimes it's silence. Rituals, I would think, none really set. I like to get into it. If I'm writing, I would just take a little bit of here, and there, and there, and there, and there, and put it together. Music, really gets me into a zero.
Oh my God. Benu used to do that shit. He was good with it. He was nice with it too. Like, you sound like
we brothers.
He was nice with it too.
He indeed is.
He did some of that for one of my tracks I did. He did the intro and he put some of that. I don't even know what to call it. Some of that hip hop. I sound like an old person right now. That hip hop.
Some of that hip hop.
Oh, I sound like an old person right now.
Nah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool to be able to. One of the things that I pride myself on, especially now being a little bit older, is just being able to bring different generations together.
Okay.
Because I think that's something that's important.
Yes.
Because it's like, especially in terms of hip hop, once upon a time, it was very much a frequent thing where people would want to age people out of just like hip hop. They'd be like, all right, when you hit 30, it's over. Yes. Or some Logan's Run type stuff. But like, but like, oh, well, why are you still doing that? But the thing is now, we have hip hoppers who are in their 70s, 60s, 50s, and you go down the line, 40s, 30s, 20s, 10s, 0, beginning. So all of that is connected. So it's very much important to be able to, just to tap into all of that. I mean, life, my biggest creative process is really just looking at life and tapping in.
Okay.
You know, tap
What
into the
about
moment, tap into, just everything, you know.
what about even tapping into like the sounds in the neighborhood?
Yeah,
All that.
sometimes, listening to different sounds and
Mm-hmm.
in the neighborhood and all that. Yeah, or blocking out the
Right.
sounds because sometimes you want to be so zoned in that you don't hear too much of the distractions. Because
Got it.
what happens is if you're too distracted, um, you won't be as tuned in to whatever you're doing, or you'll be as scattered. And I don't scatter, all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that for me, part of the creative process that I I work on to try to perfect and
Mm-hmm.
work with, trying to be even more focused. Because the thing is uh, so much stimuli. I rely on so much stimuli. It was like, oh, something here, and pulling it all together. But sometimes there's times that we just have to zone in
Mm-hmm.
and be able to just like fix into that zone
Right.
until it's like, all right, you zip to something else,
Did
you
you do
know.
deaf poetry? You did deaf poetry, right?
Yeah, so I did season 3 Deaf
Mm-hmm.
Poetry, but it
Mm-hmm.
didn't air on HBO.
Oh.
So I taped, but Deaf Poetry also had different shows and traveling shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to be part of some of those traveling shows. Shout out to my dude Danny Simmons, and then also they have right now something that's called just like Deaf Poetry Reunion, where he has a group of different deaf poets that he has worked with,
Okay.
and sometimes he brings newer poets and connects with some of those poets. So the Deaf Poetry Reunion Tour, I've been involved in that for the past 1, 2, 3 since 2017. So that's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily branded by HBO, because that's a whole nother thing. You had HBO, and then there was the Broadway wing of
Mm-hmm.
it, and then there
Yeah.
were other shows and different that. So yeah, so shout out to just Deaf Poetry. Also want to
Mm-hmm.
shout out if I'm shouting out creative process, being just like the poetic side of different things, being in different poetry venues have also shaped my creativity.
Right.
um Shout out to there was a poetic venue that used to be in Brooklyn called the Tea Party, and that hatched a lot of things, the Sunday Tea Party, and
Mm-hmm.
then there was also the Brooklyn Moon, the New Eurekan. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to Hottest Poets later on.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Hottest Poets regular, and I was able to just spread some more wings there, and that so many different venues
Well,
that's off the top of my head.
I hope you're coming to um this the 27th of January is
I
mine
will
and
I
Breeze's
will endeavor.
birthday
Breeze hooked me up.
party.
Breeze hooked me. He
Right.
he hit me up.
And
He was like,
with the
he's
new
like, hey,
with the
hey, you coming through? I'd love to see your face in the place.
I know. I
So if
know.
if I could come through, slide
That's
through and just
his
like
birthday,
give
'cause
y'all a
that's my
shout.
brother. That's my
Yeah.
brother, that's my brother from another mother, man, and he is hysterical, and he's on it. Like, we're gonna have a full house. I don't know if you remember when we did
Oh, I remember.
a
I
mic you
remember.
remember when we did the microphone fiends?
Yes, yes.
Well, it's gonna be something like that again. Yeah, it's gonna be dope, and we're gonna continue to do this every single month. So we're trying to build it like we did with Mocha Lounge back in the day. So we bring
Yeah.
in all that. We bring in
Shout out to
erotic
Mocha
poetry.
Lounge. It's another
That's
spot.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Mocha Lounge. That was my home. You know. Let me see.
Up in
Somebody
Harlem.
for a few people. Okay, said I noticed. Tony Dennis says, I've noticed that whites are embracing this culture and and want to learn. And then he says, to answer your question, his creative process is based on the Bowflex method.
Hmm?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
That's working out. I think that's
Okay.
what he's a DJ.
Okay.
I'm a I have a thing for DJs. What can I tell you?
Shout out to the DJ.
Shout out to the DJs, right? All right, so let's go on to the next question. Question number 9. Yo, did you have ADHD as a kid?
I probably got it now. I probably got it now. Ain't no label for it. It is
Right.
what it is. I got that
Dope,
energy.
though. Yo,
I'm actually relaxed. I'm usually more it could be like that, but I'm relaxed right now.
I can't wait to see you. I can't wait for you to come to my show, man. I can't wait for you to come out to our new show, man. It's gonna be dope. Question number 9: themes and messages.
Yeah.
Are there specific funny? Are there specific themes or messages you strive to convey through your art? If so, what are they?
Yes.
Yes.
So in a great deal of my art,
yes.
I just happen to have the themes uplifting, what people would call ethnic. I don't necessarily just black culture. Black
Right.
culture. I mean, because that's me. But portraying it in a positive light,
Right.
uplifting.
Right.
Find ways to shift negative imagery to something positive to be able to build. I mean, for example, if I'm talking about themes, you can't really see it. You can't really see it here. So this is a piece called "Color Him Father."
That's so dope. I can see it. It's dope.
So it's like
you guys really, whoever's in here, y'all need to really check. I'm gonna put his information.
Family,
yes.
Father, children.
Yes.
The mothers. I love women. Women are beautiful. I have a lot of women in my artwork.
Right.
I portray that. So there are a lot of themes. Positivity. There. Hip hop is also ongoing themes in a lot of my artwork, but it's not limited to that. I mean, sometimes the themes might stray a little bit different. I might go abstract. I'm not a real big abstract person, but I go abstract sometimes. See this? See this? It's a little bit abstract. Different. Dope. Different.
Damn, wait a minute. Don't move it. Let me open this up so I can see that. Oh, I like that. What is it? What does it represent?
It represents the music of music how I hear it in my mind sometimes, and it's so abstract.
Yo.
Colors chase. This represents sound in a visual form.
Yes.
Because you can't hear a painting. But that represents what it would sound like if you actually heard it. I mean, see, even in the small.
Hold on, let me open this up. I want to see that too. Hold on. Wow, that is so dope, yo.
Yeah, and that's the more abstract part where and it's funny because abstract art a lot of times was something that I strayed away from earlier because like, oh, what is it? But I'm like, let me express myself. Express myself abstract.
Yes.
Not so abstract, so
wow.
And even comic books were a big part of just like influences. So we got Storm.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I can't see it. Let me pull it out. So I can see that. Hold on 1 second. Let me go right here. Let me see. Yo. Dope. I like that abstract piece. So hold that piece and we'll talk about. You gotta let me know how much that costs.
Okay.
I want to try to get that.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay. Even pieces that are semi-abstract where it's like there's figurative aspects to it. Like
I like that. I really like that. I like
that.
See,
this is like two women like morphing or just like that energy.
Okay. I like that.
So it's like, I'm versatile with it. I like to be able to mix it up. And, I like to also, when we're thinking about themes and a lot of positivity, but or also art is a way to be able to make statements to change the world,
Yes.
make the world the place that you want it to be, create a
Mhm.
world, because
Mhm.
art influences how the world can be.
Mm. Mhm.
It's a world within its own,
Right.
as well as reflecting the world on how the world can be.
That's so dope. I need you to get on one of my tracks when I get ready.
Yeah.
I'm working on my second erotic track CD.
All right. Holla at
Maybe
me.
I'll get you to do some of the background
Yeah.
sounds in the
Holla
background.
at me.
What?
Holla at me.
Holla at me.
Yeah.
Question number 10. Challenges in art. What are some of the biggest challenges you face as an artist, and how have you overcome them?
So some of the biggest challenges that I face and also continually face is sometimes being misunderstood, uh, too labeled.
Okay.
Uh, let's see, and then also getting the artwork seen. And when I'm speaking of artwork, I'm not only talking about the visual artwork, but I'm also talking about vocal artwork.
Got it.
Giving voice to something and having people hear, what you're doing.
Right.
Communicating. I mean, of course, people are gonna have their own interpretations, but
Okay.
the biggest challenges also sometimes are naysays. I mean, there's always gonna be naysays,
Mhm.
people who doubt, or people who actually become obstacles. You
Okay.
can't do this. You can't do that. Or I don't want you to do that like that.
Right.
I believe that artists, I mean, you have your own thing on how you do your thing. Artists should be allowed to express themselves how they express themselves as artists, and not necessarily dictated too heavily by anyone else.
Right.
So being boxed into something, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. A lot of times labels are limiting.
Mhm. Mhm.
Speaking to that, I had a piece, box me in. You can't put me in any little box. Box me into a corner. I come harder and harder. My heartbeat, drum beats, lyricals with roots and African spirituals. Lyricals with roots and Negro spirituals that carry me down south and up north. Use my God, give it right to nice, so you can't box me. BT express it, do it till I'm satisfied. Try to bounce me in, figure out how I'm classified. You say I'm crazy. Call me nuts. What? I'm George Washington Carver. Spread love like peanut butter all over the place. They say it's written all over your face. You're cool. Just don't box me. And that's just a little bit of that. But I don't like to just be
Wow.
boxed in. You know.
Wow. Yo, that is so dope. I wish I could do that shit, man. I can't. I can't do it.
You have your own gifts.
Right. I have my own gift. Right.
Everyone has their own gifts.
All right. Number 11. Hip hop ambassador role.
Mhm.
What does it mean to you to be a hip hop ambassador, and how do you see your role in promoting the culture?
Okay, as a hip hop ambassador, I look at it like this:
Yes.
um, showing uh, an authentic side of just like all aspects of the culture and representing it well. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a student of hip hop. I feel like I'm forever going to be a student of hip hop. And even when you become a teacher, you have to always recognize that you're forever the student. Even when you get to the point where you feel like you're a master at something, you're
Right.
forever a student, because there's always going to be something newer coming behind you. So as
Mm-hmm.
a hip hop ambassador, what that means is representing just the culture and
Okay.
in the most true and authentic way that I can. Specifically when I get a chance to be able to go abroad
Mm-hmm.
and international or travel throughout just like the country and explain, not just explain, but just like say, hey, this is what hip hop means to me. These are
Mm-hmm.
my experiences, and
Right.
share that with other hip hop practitioners,
Mm-hmm.
participants, and just people who are involved, and even sometimes people that don't have a real understanding of what hip hop is and might be. So, as an ambassador, I've had the opportunity to work with a program called Next Level, which
Okay.
would select different hip hop practitioners in different disciplines, and they would partner with the State Department, the U.S. State Department, and different global entities,
Mm-hmm.
and send practitioners, hip hop practitioners, out
Wow.
into the world to be able to not only perform
Mm-hmm.
but also teach
Okay.
and also interact with different hip hop practitioners throughout the world. So some of
Okay.
the places that I've had the opportunity to go and represent as internationally as a hip hop ambassador
Okay.
include most recently last year I was over in the Philippines for about a month,
Mm-hmm.
and that was an amazing experience. Also, I was in Azerbaijan, which is
Mm.
over in the borderline of Europe and Asia.
Wow.
And in both of those places, I got a chance to be able to share whatever knowledge that I had,
Mm.
and also collaborate with some of the other practitioners that would go over to these lands with me, and
Okay.
share with the people who are locally forming their own interpretations of hip hop,
Okay.
and teaching, but also learning, because
Mm-hmm.
internationally, what I found is when you go to different places, not only do they go with all of that they've learned
Mm.
about hip hop, but they all have different interpretations with their own customs, their own lands.
Okay.
You have so many different young hip hop practitioners that have you know overthrown governments, or be able to address certain problems that were really, really heavy that they didn't know or have the opportunity to be able to address, but they were able to address it through the means of hip hop, whether it
Got it.
whether
Got
it
it.
was a rhyme, whether
Mm-hmm.
it was through their graffiti, whether it
Uh-huh.
was through beatboxing, whether it was through dance,
Right.
and whether it was through beat making, song making, and all of those elements, they would take hip hop and be able to make amazing changes.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I see. That's
Yes.
dope. That's just so dope. I love interviewing you guys because I learned so much because I know a little bit here and there, but I always learn something new interviewing
See,
you
we
guys.
never stop learning.
Right.
We never stop learning.
Never
The
stop learning.
world keeps turning. The world keeps turning. We never stop learning.
Oh my
For
God. You must
all those concerning.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Are you like this all the time, even with your wife?
Yes.
Your wife and everything. So
Yes.
your wife is
Yes.
you must drive her crazy sometimes.
Yes. I mean, because she's like the opposite of me.
And
She's reserved.
that's what makes it work. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
makes
a
this
nice
shit work.
balance. It's a
Yeah, I
nice
love it.
balance.
I love it. All right, number 12. Impact of technology. How has technology influenced your work both in visual art and music?
So technology uh, often makes things easier in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Um, Technology for me sometimes, I don't want to make myself seem so much like a dinosaur,
Mm.
but uh it I'm slower to learn certain technologies or whatever, because it's like I'm dealing with
I know.
the technology of
Yes,
biology and figuring out, all right, well, how can I process this inside before I go outside with the technology.
I
I
understand.
mean but technology, look, I mean, we on screen right now. We on screen. This right here allows technology allows more people to be reached
Right.
when conveying whatever art form
Mm-hmm.
that I have there. So I think technology is a beautiful thing. I want to embrace it even more, but not too much. I'm not
Mm.
super big on, you know, I'm gonna be real. All right, artificial intelligence
Mm.
actually scares them
Right.
because it can actually, uh, you know, say
Mm-hmm.
things that you didn't say. Like, hey, I didn't say
Right.
that. So it's like really recognizing, what the tools are. Everything's a tool, and
Yeah.
using it as a tool and being able to find the happy medium and marriage between um, technology and organic creativity.
Right. Okay. That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me check the comments real quick and see. Oh, Breeze is here. He
Breeze,
says
cool breeze.
he says Cool Breeze
Cool
says yes,
breeze. My
technology can be
dude.
scary today, and it can be. It can
My
be.
dude, cool breeze.
That's my dude. That's my brother from another mother.
Good brother.
Okay, are we up to future projects? Are there
Okay.
any upcoming projects or exhibitions you're excited about that you can share with us?
Okay. Let's see. Future projects. Well, I'm finally, I mean, I've been lagging for years and years and years, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to drag it anymore. Just putting out, a solo project, because I did a lot of collaborations, but
About
having
time.
solo project, and that'll be out sometime in 2025.
Mm.
I had a solo project, but that was like an EP, and that was years ago, when that was like really just like with
Wait,
poetry and beat.
wait.
Mhm.
What about your art? Are you
Oh
gonna
no,
do
that's
a
coming. I'm coming to that.
yeah?
I'm coming to that. That's coming. That's coming. That's coming. That's coming. So
Because
for
I
the art,
definitely
one
want to
of the
come out
things,
there
yeah,
to that.
yeah. So one of the future shows, it's not etched. The date is not etched in stone, but
Mm.
when it does happen, I'm working on putting together an art show that's going to be in Harlem at the
Ah, thank
Aloft
you.
Hotel
Okay,
at
thank you for
Aloft
bringing it to
Marriott.
Harlem
So
because I
when
don't
that
like traveling to
so when
Brooklyn.
when that happens, I'll let you know. I mean,
Please let me know.
there's gonna be some Brooklyn pop up stuff too. Because things always pop up. So there's some things that are brewing. There are some things that are
I can't wait.
brewing that I'm doing, and I'll keep you in the
I can't
loop.
wait. I definitely can't wait for you to come to Harlem because I want to see some of those them little art pieces. Them little,
Yeah,
I
I'm probably
love
gonna
little
bring some of
art
the
like
big
that.
joints. I'll probably, I'll probably bring some of the bigger joints. I mean, because it's like I have
Yeah,
large and
medium
little,
and small. Right.
large,
No, you got to
medium,
bring a little
and
bit of
little. Yeah,
everything.
yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of
A
that,
little bit of
a little
this
bit
and a
of that,
little
a
bit of
little bit of that,
that.
a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah,
You got to.
yeah, yeah,
Because I may want to cop something,
yeah,
especially
yes,
the
and I
little
would so
pieces.
appreciate that.
Them little pieces. I like them little pieces. I like little knickknacks.
Oh, okay.
I like little knickknacks. Yeah. All right, let's
Knack
go.
patty
Number
whack, give a
14.
dog a bone.
Knick-knack paddywhack. I just thought about my grandmother because my grandmother used to have a lot of little knickknacks, little statues around her house. I don't know what that was about, but I
Well,
like
hey,
them a
my
lot.
grandmother. It's funny. My
Yeah,
grandmother had the same. She had the
yeah,
same thing,
yep.
and I contributed to, because I would make, when I see that, I'm like, oh, you got that? Yeah.
I'm gonna make
I'm gonna make you
this
some stuff. Yeah.
right. Yeah, I didn't start doing art like that until as I got older. Like I do abstract painting. I build, like I built a shoe, a 5 foot shoe, red bottom shoe that was like a chair. So you could sit in it, you could store stuff in it. And I was using it to do some of my photo shoots, but it was taking up too much space. I got rid of it, but I like to build stuff. I'm getting ready to start building something new soon,
Okay, that's what's up. I mean,
Yeah,
even with the
yeah.
figurines, my daughter had, that's a gift that she acquired. This is one of her
Let me
pieces.
see.
Yeah,
Look at her.
yeah, that's one
Oh
of her
wow. That's
pieces. One of them, Lido Stitch.
Stitch. I think that was Stitch.
One of
That's
them.
one of them. That's one of them.
I don't
Wow.
know. I
She's
lose track.
good. She
I
picked
lose
it up
track
from
all of
you.
that.
She picked it
Yeah.
up from you. That's good. That's good. All right, number 14. Advice for aspiring artists. What advice would you give to aspiring artists and educators looking to make their mark in the art world?
So the advice that I would give to aspiring artists and also aspiring educators is to be your authentic you. You be the unique you that you are and be able to bring that
Yes. Mm-hmm.
to to the forum. And
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be times where there are going to be people that um dissuade you from being who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say find out who you are, and also think about sometimes who you want to become.
Mm-hmm.
Marry those two things and just like stay authentic,
And
not
find
only
your
to
own find
yourself.
your own style. Find your
Not
own
only that,
style.
not only just to find your own style, but just to find your place and also how you relate
Got it.
to not only yourself but
Right.
also to others,
Right.
because that'll go a long way. um
Mm-hmm.
Kindness,
Mm-hmm.
authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
uh just being genuine,
Right.
all of those things are important, and it
Yeah.
goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. Bree said, tell him to bring something January 27th. He's going to be here, Breeze. I already told him he'll be in the
Yeah,
house.
I got you. I got you. I got your post. You was
He's
like,
going
come through, please. Come through. Come through.
to make sure your ass is in the building. Yo, we're gonna have a heck of a time, boy. It's gonna be so much fun. Let me see. I think he said something else. He said, all right. He's just laughing. He's a mess.
Breeze is a brother
Mm-hmm.
that I mentioned the Sunday Tea Party. I actually met Breeze at the
Mm-hmm.
Tea Party.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the other venues that I would actually see Breeze at, when I would actually venture with Rest His Soul, Big Brother Wayne, that was my dude.
Mm-hmm.
Caviar and Cornbread
Mm-hmm.
out in Long Island. So I
Wow.
get around. So
Wow. Yeah, I
yeah,
used to travel like that. I can't do that no more. I ain't going I'm not. I can't.
yeah. But
Back in the day,
Breeze,
yeah, I would go from place to place and perform and this and that. I can't do that no more. I ain't doing it.
Breeze is a brother,
Mhm. He
for
very
a long,
supportive.
long time.
Yep, he's very supportive,
Good
very
brother.
from day one, the day we met him and I've been that's my brother. He said that's my sister and yo, that's my dude, man. That's my dude, you know. Ever since day one. And he's funny as fuck. So, he's funny as
Yes,
hell.
yes, yes.
He's funny as hell, man. All right, let's go to
Number
number
15.
15. Uh Interdisciplinary approach. How do you see the intersection of visual art and music evolving in the future, especially within the hip hop genre?
So the evolution of it will naturally happen again. What's happening is there are more people who are tapping into what came before,
Mhm.
and because we have the technology to be able
Mm,
to look at things on YouTube, old footage
right.
and images and archives of different things.
Mhm.
People can see what came before. And
Mhm.
now, because we have the newer technology, there are people who are looking at different ways to be able to keep people, you know, not only entertained, entertained, because what's happening now is,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned AD, with attention spans. Listen, the average person's attention span right now is actually a whole lot shorter than it used to be. So basically, we got to be able to find ways to be able to keep everybody connected and keep everybody entertained and keep everybody educated and keep everybody aware, awake. So we
Right.
need different things to be able to build on. So I think that naturally, all of those things, whether it be visual, whether it be music, whether
Yes.
it be all of those different things, that are going to be more interactions and the more marriages
Yes.
of those art forms,
Mm-hmm.
and not just with AI. I mean, it's probably going to come to a point where people are going to say, hey, well, we can't just rely on just the AI, because AI is actually the Terminator.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So we ought to be able to. I got to be careful with that, because the AI might be listening and try to get me a little bit later, and like
Right. Send the Terminator.
yeah, I know, but everybody is going to just find ways to just keep people more engaged.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. All right. Last question.
16
Legacy.
legacy,
What kind of
legacy,
legacy do you hope to
legacy.
leave through your work as an artist and an educator?
My legacy, my legacy. I would like to just be creativity, and when people see the work that I have been able to do,
Yes. Yes.
uniqueness, and also being authentic,
Yeah.
Lee,
Uh, uh,
me, and tapping into the vibe that just is.
uh,
That's the legacy
okay.
for right now. Um,
Okay.
One of the biggest legacies I have, is my daughter. Because she's
Yes.
also a creative.
Yes.
So that's a legacy right there.
Yes.
But yeah, and also in terms of legacy, I'm always reminded about that when I encounter, say, a young person that I might have worked with years ago,
Okay.
and they might actually think of something that I might have shared with them, or
Mm-hmm.
something that they remembered, or something that inspired them.
Yeah.
I have a former student. Well, actually, I consider her now a friend. She was like one of my first students when I was, growing as an educator, when I was 18.
Yeah.
And, she's like 40 years, like 40 something years old. And it was like, wow. She was like, oh, well, I remember when you taught me this, Mr. Derek, or showed me this. Sometimes I get young people, they're not so young anymore. They're in their
Right.
30s and 40s, and they run up on me like, yo, Mr. Cross, I
Right.
remember XYZ, 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 and you said XYZ and XYZ, and you told me about that. And this
Mm-hmm.
inspired me to do X, Y, and Z. And for
Right.
me, that means the world. That
Right.
means the world, because when I first became an educator, I had no idea that's that was going to be able to be something that's going to be able to impact young people that will become adults, who will
Okay.
have families, and then they'll be able to pass on different things. So
Okay.
yeah, I just want to
Wow.
be able to just do a legacy proud. I mean, the thing is also, my legacy is not my own. I stand on shoulders of people that came before me.
Okay.
So that's a big part of my legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Those who came before me,
Right.
those who did what they did in order to do what I do.
Exactly.
You know, um, I it makes me think about brief conversation I had with Baba Abiy Doom
Mm-hmm.
one time, where he was just saying, he was like, hey man, hey, I dig what what you doing and this and that, and reminds me of when we, when he was speaking about the Laugh Poets were,
Right.
just doing their things or whatever. And I reminded him, I said, listen, you're among the shoulders that I stand on.
Yes.
So every time I see Uncle Doon, I like yo, I let him know that.
Mm.
Every time I see any of the hip hop practitioners who came before me and inspired me, when I see them in person, I make sure that they get their flowers,
Yes.
because their legacy is part of what I'm sharing.
Right.
Doug. I really want to give a shout out to just Doug, because Dougie Fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Dougie Fresh has been nothing but, just like every time that I've seen him, encountered him, or even got a chance to perform either alongside him or
I'm trying
with
to get
him or
him on my
open
show.
up, he's always been so encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give a shout out to him. That's legacy. You
Well,
know,
I'm trying to get him on my show. I'll definitely let you know when I get him. When I finally do grab him.
legacy.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm talking legacy in terms of just like vocal beatboxes and things like that. Of course, Buffy from the Fat Boys, but
Mm-hmm.
then also, brothers like, Rozelle.
Right.
Rozelle is one of my OGs. People
Mm-hmm.
think he's a little bit young, but he's one of my OGs. I remember hearing him when I was younger.
Okay.
Um, Kenny Muhammad.
Mm.
Kenny Muhammad was a brother that I actually remember him coming up to my high school when I was much younger.
Mm.
When I
Mm-hmm.
was in high school, and when I was in high school, I wasn't heavily, into beatboxing like that, but I wanted to be able to incorporate that into rhyming and stuff like that. But he was out there in the trench. He was out there in
Got
the
it.
trenches. Brothers
Got
like
it.
DOA, shout
Uh-huh.
out to him. I mean, there's so many. Eminon's, that's you know, dope brother, dope, dope human beatboxer, but also
Mm-hmm.
he was someone who was around then and then later on was able to inspire and push on. And I mean, there's so many.
Mm.
So many that's legacy. I mean, I could go on and on, and on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, but I won't.
Right. So now where can the people find you if they wanna, email you or,
Yeah,
or give me all your social media, all that. Give me everything.
yeah. So you can find me at D Cross.
Uh-huh.
The
Oh no. We gotta He froze on me. He froze. He froze. Are you okay? You still with me? Well, guys, I think that's probably the end of the show because he's frozen, and I guess that was it. That was his time. So, listen, I want to thank everybody for being at the being here tonight. I will definitely get the rest of his information and post it on this show somewhere. Um, again, microphone, not microphone fiend, excuse me. Uptown with Mona every Monday at 7 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. And again on Thursdays at 6 p.m. on withoutwarningradio.com. Um, what else? What else? What else? Go to my Uptown with Mona, last name Baudet on Facebook and join. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Also my Instagram page, Mona Uptown dot with dot Mona on Instagram. I need you to join both those pages. Also, if you want to donate, because we do accept donations, Cash App, money sign Uptown with Mona. And if you're interested in and if you have an interesting story or you want to be interviewed, hit me up. Let me know. Uptownwithmona@gmail.com. And that's it. And listen, January 27th, 2025, Comedy in Harlem, 147th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. That's the naughty list. The Mocha Lounge reunion continues. And yo, my birthday and my brother Breeze's birthday, and we are going to have a fucking blast. So everybody needs to be in the house because it's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. So again, I want to thank D Cross for showing up. I know he got frozen a little bit. So I guess that's it, y'all. So now I'm gonna try and end this stream. I don't know if I can because I always fuck it up when it's time to end screen. So I'm gonna try to end it, and I'm gonna see y'all later next Monday. Matter of fact, next Monday maybe I'm not sure, but more than likely I'll be here, and we will. Let me try and get this. Let me. Here we go. I think I got it. Yay! All right, y'all. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. And that's a wrap for today's show, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in to Uptown with Mona. Be sure to join us again next week for another exciting episode. Until then, I'm your host, Mona Baudet, and I'm saying peace and love. Have a wonderful day.